What's up, guys? One of my buddies from work just called me. He's like actually an old co-worker. He retired a few years ago as an older guy. He's into muscle cars, and he called me up and he goes, "Hey Joe, I know you like that German junk. I think I got a car for you." And I'm like, "What do you got?" You know, I'm so excited. And he tells me it's a 1988 325i. It's white with oxblood red interior, and I'm through the roof. I'm like, dude, is it clean? You know, can you look in the trunk? You know, the normal rot spots. And he goes, "Joe, it looks super clean." He goes, "I know the previous owner. It's the guy that used to own this golf course. He bought it for his wife in 1988, and she's owned it since then. They've taken great care of it." And I'm just like, dude, I gotta have this car. He says it's an automatic convertible though, and I'm bumming. You know, I'm just like, dang. You know, I was set. You know, I was like, automatic convertible, but still that color combination's where it's at. White with the oxblood. I mean, it don't get better than that. So I gotta have it. You know, I used to have an M3 E46 M3 convertible Alpine white with the red interior, and I love that car. I had a hard top for it. It was such a blast. I owned that car for like 4 or 5 years. I had a great time with it, and I'm like, you know, I had an E30 at the time as well, white with black leather, and I just, you know, I never registered and insured the white E30. I just had it for a little while. It needed some work, and I ended up selling it to a buddy, so he still has it. But anyways, this one came up. It's super clean, and I'm about to go take a look at it. The owner of the car, though, he seems like kind of a funky guy, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to do like video on it while I'm there picking it up. But I just kind of wanted to do a little intro here on what's going on. Because the guy that's selling it is selling it for the lady. I don't know if her husband's still alive or not, and maybe that's why. But I just talked to him, and he seemed kind of funky on the phone. So I don't know if me being like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna be doing a YouTube video on this," and then all of a sudden the price goes up and he don't want to sell it to me. So I'm probably just gonna sneak in there, grab the car, and get out of there. And then after that, I'll take some video once I get home. But first, I'm gonna go take a look at it. I'm gonna bring the trailer because it does seem like a decent car. A friend of mine sent me a couple pictures of it, and it seems decent. It's been sitting in a garage for like, it has a 2019 inspection sticker on it, but it doesn't seem like it's been driven that much in between times. So I'm gonna go take a look at it, and I guess if this video continues, that means I bought it. So wish me luck, guys. Here we go. What's up, guys? We were able to get it. Super excited. We cruised up there Thursday night, grabbed it. It took us about a 2-hour drive up, and then maybe, you know, we threw it on a trailer, 2-hour ride back. We got home at like 10 o'clock at night, and then had to go to bed, wake up the next morning. If you guys saw my last video, I had to drop my front bumper off at the sandblaster, so I was able to pick it up from the sandblaster, drop it off at the painter before they closed, and then we started getting ready, ran a couple of errands to go to wolfsgart over the weekend. And I'll tell you, that was a great show. I had a blast, just a chill environment. The whole town was really cool, a bunch of quality cars. The show was sick. It was a nice show. It was really a lot of fun. And you know, my biggest regret is not going in the years in the past here. This is my first time going, so man, that was a bummer that I haven't gone before. But still really rad to be able to get out there and check it out. Here's a couple of my favorite cars from the show and what I got to see and everything. So here's that. yeah, that was just a couple of my favorite cars. I didn't get to see all of them because there was a huge variety, and there was a bunch of cars in the parking lot that didn't even show, that I didn't get to see. And a couple of my buddies were like, hey man, did you see that thing in the parking lot? I was like, no, I didn't get to check it out at the show. But yeah, every time I turned the corner, there was another car that I was like, man, where did this thing come from? You know, so it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. We were gonna camp out that night, Saturday night, because we left Saturday morning. We were gonna camp Saturday night, and then around 9 o'clock, we had everything ready, tent set up and everything. Jen and I, we were gonna camp with everyone else, but I heard it was kind of rowdy, so we're like, you know what, let's find a cool spot by the lake and see if we could hide in somewhere. So we found this sick spot right on the water. It was so rad, and you know, the bugs were insane. And then we finally get all the bugs out, and we're like, okay, let's settle down. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and it was like 87 degrees, and I'm just like, man, and you're in a tent, and it's hot, man, and we got the, you know, there's barely a breeze, and I kept thinking there was bugs on me, but it's just sweat running down my face. I was sweating bullets, and you know, and we're tossing and turning, and around like 10, I was like, hey Jen, if we leave now, we'll get home at like 1:30, you know, and then, or so, right in there, 1 o'clock, and she's like, no, you know, like, and I felt it, you know, she was like, you know, we said we're gonna do it, let's just camp, let's just do this, you know, instead of going home like we always do, you know. And I was like, all right, we'll camp. And then 11 o'clock rolls around, I haven't gone to sleep. 12 o'clock rolls around, I'm like, all right, Jen, we're going home, that's it. So we cruised it home. We got home at like 4:30 in the morning. This morning I slept for a few hours, and now we're up back at it. So this is it, this is the car, this is as honest as it gets. I haven't touched it at all. I literally started up, drove it on the trailer, and now I'm here. You know, I pulled it out of the garage, and this is the video. So let me just make sure I'm still recording. I am. It's so hot that my camera keeps overheating and shutting off. So I got we're in the shade now. I got the case off, and I'm just hoping that, you know, it stays recording. So it's done to me like 4 times. So this is like take 50, whatever, take 5 actually. But yeah, this is it. Haven't washed it. While I was there, I was checking it out, and I was like, man, I don't mind a convertible. I love it. I had a hardtop on my last one. It was really sick. I hope I can find another hardtop for this one. The top on it's okay. The top on it's good, but the back window's got a couple little nicks in it, some stress cracks. So I'm wondering if I can put a new window in the back. My buddy Mitch might be able to sew one up for me and throw it in there, and I'll have a nice fresh rear window. That may be an option, or I'll just buy a whole new top, or I'll just leave it because really it's not that bad. But maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see what happens in the future. I can't wait to wash, pressure wash, clay bar, put a little cutting compound on it, go through the whole car, and then polish and then wax. And this thing is gonna look unbelievable. I'm really stoked to just hydrate this paint because she's dry. So that's my first thing that I want to do with this, as well as engine maintenance. I want to do a timing belt, a water pump, the cam seal. Not that it needs to be done, it's just maintenance, and I don't have the history on the timing belt, so that's kind of a big deal with these cars, and it's pretty cheap to do. I think it's like 150 to 200 bucks to do that whole kit. So I'm just gonna get that done and know that, you know, it's not gonna snap, and I'm not gonna have to replace the head and all that. So and be broke down somewhere. So regular maintenance first. I'm gonna do, as well as the head gas, or the timing belt, I'm gonna do, I don't know why I said head gasket. Hopefully I don't have to do that. It seems good. I'm gonna do spark plugs, wires, just a regular maintenance, spark plug, wires, cap and rotor, all that, and just get that motor dialed in. It runs really good now, but I wanna see if it'll run even better with all this stuff done. It's got a little bit of a hesitation. I tried to see if it maybe had a misfire. It's really hard to tell, but I think it's just old gas in there. So I put some new gas in there, and it's definitely running a lot better, but it had a half a tank of like older gas, and I just put a half a tank of 93 in. So it's got a full tank of gas in there, and maybe it's just mixing up, and it is running better as I drive around. Because like I said, it's been sitting for a little while. It's got a 2019 inspection sticker on it, so it hasn't been sitting too long, but you know, that gas could be from 2019. So we got her mixing in there, and it is running better as I drive around. I took her for a ride around the neighborhood, and it cruises, man. This thing's great with the top back. It feels like it's a nice car. It's got some good pull on it too. You know, I wasn't beating the heck out of it because, again, the timing belt and all that, I don't want it to snap. So I was just taking my time with it, and just making sure all the options worked as well. The gauge coupler wasn't working, and I'm like, oh, it's got no tack. That's kind of weird. And the heater fan wasn't working. So I checked the fuse box. It just needed a fuse. So I popped the fuse in there, and now everything works. I don't know why the fuse was broken. The guy did have some weird electrical, like he was, I think he had like a double phone charger with a solar thing in there to keep the battery charged, and I think maybe that popped it. Maybe he just had too many things plugged in at once, and I think that's probably what happened. So I just put new fuse in there. She's good to go. But yeah, this is as honest as it gets, and I'm gonna wash it, clay bar it, and just go through the paint like I said. The best part is when I got there, I look inside the car, and you won't believe this. She's standard, ladies and gentlemen. I just couldn't believe it. And then look at these seats too. Got a couple of little hitchhikers here. Yeah, these things are, man. And the tops of the headrests, like usually especially on the convertibles, because a lot of times people leave these, they'll leave the top open on accident, and then they'll come back out and their car will be full of water, and then this gets all dry, and then so these, when the sun hits it, they start the leather, especially here, it starts to shrink, and it pulls on these threads. But these are still like super supple, if you will. It's a weird word for me. I don't like using that. I don't know, that sounds weird. But the back, again, this is as honest as it gets. This is just like some sun, and it just needs a little bit of love. So I'm gonna put a lot of leather lotion on this, leather cleaner, as well as the boot cover, and try to get this to come back as much as I can. But I mean, overall, it's really nice. It's got a sport wheel on there, no cracks in the dash. The dash is in great shape. It just needs to be, just cleaned and hydrated. The engine bay is totally unmolested. Nobody cut up the wires to put a stereo in this thing. It's just super clean. And again, I'm showing it to you guys. I'm keeping it real with you. This is as honest as I can give it to you. We pulled it out of this barn that's been sitting in, and here she is. So, and it was a lady owned, so she's not cleaning the engine bay. She's doing oil changes and just regular maintenance to it. And you can tell some things have been done. It looks like some parts are a little bit newer, new hose over here, and stuff like that. It's just been regular maintenance for an older lady to just bring it to the shop and, hey, I need my car fixed. So. And that's what you want when you find an old Beamer. You just want somebody that took care of it. So now I get to go in and just clean it all really nice and get it back to its close as original as I possibly can. But I'm just so stoked on the color combination and that it's a 5-speed. Stoked, and no cracks in the dash. The seats are great because finding these seats are super hard. The Oxblood sport seats. I mean, that's so hard to get. So really excited to mess around with this car and get it back in its close to original state. And then I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with it. I might throw my girl in it and then have her drive it as like a second car, or see if she likes it. Maybe I'll just troop it around too, because it's really a sick car. Maybe I'll sell it. I don't know. But let me know what sites you guys use for these things, and where you guys get all your parts, because I'm thinking FCP Euro, because they're local to me and they're pretty good, and as well as Pelican Parts. But if there's another Beamer, is it Beamer or Bimmer? That's how I don't really know too much about these cars. I'm not a huge BMW guy, but I do love them. But I just haven't had that many of them. But yeah, let me know what sites you guys use and where you guys get your parts, and what else maintenance wise should I do to this thing. And just see what's going on. I did notice that while I was driving it on deceleration, I noticed that it was kind of giving me sorry, we're a little crooked here. I don't know, let's see. It was kind of giving me like on if I would accelerate, not hard, because again, the timing belt, I was taking care of it. I would accelerate and then decelerate, and I would get a and it was coming from the center of the car. So I think it's gonna be that Guibo. And I had it on the lift. Underneath this car is spotless, by the way. I mean, I can't believe it. The rear pockets totally, it looks like a Florida car underneath. It's so clean underneath. I couldn't believe it. But anyways, I couldn't see the Guibo because it's got the exhaust and then the exhaust shield. So I think I'm gonna have to drop the exhaust. It's got new exhaust on it too. The lady put brand new exhaust on. So I'm gonna drop the exhaust and then just check that Guibo. I'm pretty sure that's it. I'm probably just gonna order it because it's old and it's probably never been replaced. So I'm just gonna replace that because I think that's what it is. I gave the drive shaft a wiggle. The part that I could grab reached up in there, and it did feel like it was a little bit loose, and I feel that there shouldn't be any play in that. So let me know if I'm wrong, and if it's a good idea for me to grab that. I'm going to be buying a bunch of parts for it tonight. Cap, rotor, plugs, wires, timing belt, camshaft seal, water pump, the Guibo, and let me know if I should grab anything else for a Beamer that's been sitting for a while. Beamer, Bimmer, Benz and Bentley, you know what I mean? Let me know, and thanks for watching, guys, and leave a comment if you can, because I definitely need some guidance on this one. And And that's all. Thanks again, guys. I appreciate it. See you.